This video is going to give you a quick tutorial of PowerPoint. So right now I'm in the program PowerPoint and I've gone to File and New Presentation, and it should pop up a blank PowerPoint presentation. So first off, I'm going to go to Themes. So Themes will let you choose whatever background you want, and you can click on them and actually see what background you like and then choose one accordingly, because you can always change it later. So I'm going to choose my favorite for now. And then if I wanted to add more slides, I would simply go to Home and then click New Slide. So let's just play around in these slides. So I'm going to click to add the title, and I'm just going to click in the text box and I'm going to hit Title. And then the same goes for text in the main text box here. Now, if you want to write text, you have to actually click in the text box and then write your text. Now, if you wanted to get rid of this text box altogether, because remember I said in my presentation to avoid using bullets, you'd want to make sure to click directly on this box and hit the delete button. Okay, we'll do it one more time. And then now let's say that we want to add our own text box. Then you just go over here to Text, and remember I'm in the Home function. You hit Text, Text Box, and then draw your own text box and start writing. Okay, let's say you wanted to add a picture. Then you'd simply go to Picture, and then Picture from File, and you should have some pictures here that you can pull from. And actually, I don't even know that I have any photos. So let's see. Okay, we'll put in a picture. Alright, so this is really big. So what you'll want to do is click directly on the photo and then go down to the corners and resize. So just move your mouse to resize, and then if you click directly in the picture, you can move it around wherever you want. Now, you'll notice that when I put the picture in and I click on it, you get a new button up here called Format Picture. And that's great because you can play around with this. You can say change the brightness or the contrast of the picture. You can change the tone of a picture. You can use a filter to make it look like a painting. So, just kind of play around with these and see what you like. Let's say I like this, so I'll leave that. You can also compress the picture and reduce the file. You can crop it just to maybe get somebody's head instead of the whole photo, and so forth. So I encourage you just to play around with some of these buttons. But my favorite thing is to add a border to sometimes make it really stand out. So let's say I want a border. I'm going to pick black for now. You can also do anything that you want with the photo in terms of a drop shadow. So just play around with those. An important button though is the transparency button, because maybe you don't want it to be so light or so dark. You can change the transparency and so on and so forth. So let's make it just a little bit less bright. So now that I have my picture the way I want it, let's put in another text box and kind of show you how to add text over a picture. So I'm going to go to Home again, and I'm going to say Text Box, and then I'm going to just write text here. Now I'm going to pick up this text box and I'm going to put it here because I want it over my picture. Now, as you can tell, some of this text gets a little lost, so let's just highlight it, and then you can go to Home again, and you can change the font color. So let's say maybe I want white, and maybe I want to make it bold. So the most important thing here to remember is that the Home button looks exactly like Microsoft Word, so you can change any of the text to say bold, italics, underlined, strike through, anything. You can change the color, you can change the font. So here you can change it to anything that you want. You can also change the size, and this is important for titles and things like that. You can change where you want it to align. If you want it centered or to the left, you can add bullets. So I just encourage you to kind of play around with the home space when using text too. But now let's say that I wanted my picture to overlap the text box. I wanted it to somehow cut off the rest of the text. This is actually important when you put in your text box first and then you put in the picture, and the picture actually overlaps the text and you can't see it. And I showed you this in the presentation. So you'll want to go to Arrange and then just hit simply Bring to Front, and it'll make that text box show up overlapping the photo. So just remember that if the text is actually behind the photo, you click on the actual text box, hit Arrange, and then Bring to Front. Other things I can show you are, let's say, using shapes, because I talked a lot about using flowcharts. So you can use lines and connectors for arrow buttons. If you wanted to make different shapes within your flowchart, then you can go to rectangles, basic shapes. You have a bunch of things just here that you can play around with. Also, if you wanted to do animations, you can make your animations, you can make your picture kind of fly in. You can make it so what you want to do is you want to click on the actual picture and then go to animations, and then let's say you want it to just sort of appear, or maybe you want it to come in like that, whatever you want. So what I want to recommend though is that you don't use a whole lot of animations. I talked about this in the presentation. You want to use them for effect only, so it's important not to use too many and really go crazy with it. You can also make transitions between your slides. So let's say you wanted the slide to come in like that, or like this. So I just went to transitions, and then I played around with some of these transitions between the actual slides. Other things are tables and charts, and I'm not really going to go over those because this is just sort of like the simple get started with PowerPoint, but I just want to point out that there are buttons here for tables and charts that you can use, and it's pretty simple, it's pretty self-explanatory. If you click on any of these table styles, then you can create your own tables here. Charts are basically the same thing. You can actually create a pie chart and put it into your PowerPoint, and it will actually use Excel to open it. So now you can play around with charts a little bit. But maybe the most important thing is you can actually narrate and record your slideshow. So if you wanted to do just sort of like a simple recording of your slideshow and put it on WebCT or Blackboard, you could record it here. So I encourage you to just sort of play around with those things too. Now, if you wanted to see what your PowerPoint presentation actually looks like, you can go to Slideshow and hit play, and then kind of walk through the presentation. Lastly, I will recommend that you sort of play around with the media button, because you can insert media here through your browser, through a file, through something you've recorded. So if you have a movie that you pull in from YouTube or something like that, you can pull it in using the media file. There's also a way to add music too. So you can simply go to iTunes or whatever project you might have or a program you might have on a PC, and you can put in movies. You can click the audio button and actually bring in some audio. So I'm just going to click it, and you can kind of preview it, and then if you actually want that to be on your PowerPoint, you can just drag and drop, and it will actually insert the media there, and it will show you that it's there by using a little megaphone here. So it's the same with movies. I have a couple actually saved. So if I wanted to pull it in, I could just insert the media by dragging and dropping. And then as you can see, it has a play button here. So, you know, you can test it out. So that's my movie. So that's how to add music and movies. And basically that is the sort of quick tutorial of PowerPoint just to get you started. If you remember, everything that you want to manipulate text is in the home button. Especially the new slide is important. So just play around with these things and, you know, get comfortable with PowerPoint and see what you can do.